that VTuber. We now have a VTuber on stream. Their silhouette is on screen right now. You have to use the predict. So press predict in the chat. Choose your prediction. If you can tell who it is, this is your opportunity to win some channel points. That VTuber was Mini.
Hello, staff of the Severance Foundation. Today I have a steady guide on how to make a Who's That Pokemon themed redeem for your regular broadcasts. This will work so long as you have the Mixitup bot, OBS Studio, and 2 transparent images, one of the object in full color, and another a silhouette. I won't be going through the course of downloading and installing these programs nor the pictures, since that seems common knowledge in today's digital world. Simply download them from the supplied links in this video's description and come back once they're installed. Once you have them installed, we need to make sure they can see one another. To make this as seamless as possible, we need to enable the Websocket on OBS Studio. To do this, open OBS Studio. Go to Tools, WebSocket Server Settings, then enable WebSocket Server and hit Apply. OBS Studio will now ask for access to your local network. Give it the access that you wish and click OK. Now that the WebSocket server is set up, we need to integrate OBS Studio with our Mixitup bot. Go on ahead and open Mixitup. Whenever Mixitup first opens, it's going to ask you to log in to your Twitch account. Go on ahead and do so. If you have a bot account, you can add it there as well. However, you don't have to have a bot account for that. Then, once you have Mixitup completely installed and you reach this window, click the top 3 bars. Scroll down until you see Services. Click Services. Second in the list is OBS Studio. Click that in order to open its dropdown. The only thing that you need to change in the IP address is the socket. Make sure the socket matches your WebSocket server in your WebSocket server settings on OBS Studio. Then, if you made a password, add the password to your services window. Then click Connect. After a couple moments, you should see this. If you don't see this, you need to go back to your OBS Studio settings for your WebSocket server and make sure that everything that you copied is correct. If you don't know where to look for those WebSocket server settings, all you need to do is open OBS Studio, click Tools, WebSocket Server Settings. To get the password, it will be under Show Connect Info. The server port will be under Server Settings. Congratulations! Your OBS Studio and Mixitup bot have started their awesome relationship together, and now we can get to work on the redeem. In OBS Studio, we're going to want to make a new scene. In the bottom left, click the plus sign and call this new scene Pokemon. Then, in the regular scene, we're going to click the plus sign under Sources and add a scene source, selecting Pokemon from the dropdown. That's just going to make it so that our main scene can see the Pokemon scene. Now, in the Pokemon scene, we're going to add 2 image sources. These image sources are going to fall under the silhouetted and unsilhouetted version of our desired image. I'm going to call the second one Silhouette. Click OK. Find the image from my PC and open it. I'm going to drag that down to the bottom right, just so it's nice and clean. In the other image source, we're going to find the unsilhouetted version and do the same. Just to make things as clean as possible, and so that we can add new stuff easily in the future, we're just going to right-click inside of our sources in the Pokemon scene and create a group. We're going to call this one Blaziken because that's the Pokemon that I decided to use for the tutorial. Then we're just going to drag the 2 images under the Blaziken group and close the group down. Now, if I were to get a simple color source and put it underneath the Pokemon source, you'll see that we have our Blaziken right here. But in the Pokemon source, it's not visible. If I were to go into the group and turn off the silhouetted image, we see our Blaziken here, and in our normal scene, we also see the Blaziken. Now, in Mixitup, we're going to need to make some action groups. Action groups are how the bot knows what to do. We're going to go on ahead and click the 3 bars in the top left of our Mixitup bot. scroll down to Action Groups and make a new action group. We're going to call this one Name That Pokemon. Show Scene / Hide Scene. That's just so that we know what it's called in the future so we don't mess with it later. Now under Action, we're going to add a streaming software. Click the plus sign. Now under Streaming Software, select OBS Studio from the drop-down, and then under Action, we're going to change that to Source Visibility. Then the source name is Pokemon. We're going to have this set to Visibility On. Then we're going to click Copy. It's just the little boxes at the top of the action. In the new action, we're going to disable that visibility. Go on ahead and close those both down. Then under Action, add a wait action. We're going to make that for 320 seconds. Now slide that up between the two streaming software actions. This will make it so that the scene hides and unhides itself whenever it's done with its regular actions. Then click the little floppy disk at the bottom to save this action group. As you can see now, I have a couple of different action groups already in my action group list. I made these for the ease of the tutorial. The first one you're going to make is Who's That Pokemon Blaziken. So we're going to make a new action group. Go on ahead and click the new action group drop down, and then name it Who's That Pokemon Blaziken, or whatever it is that you decided to make it for. So in this case, it could be Who's That Soccer Player, or whatever it is you chose. Then, under Actions, we're going to make a Twitch action. Whenever you have the Twitch action under Type, you're going to select Create Prediction from the drop-down. The title is going to be Who's That Pokemon, and the duration is going to be 180 seconds. This is going to give your viewers the time to actually choose which one they think it is. Then under Outcome 1 or 2, you're going to put the actual answer to whatever your object is. So in my case, Blaziken is going to be outcome number 1, which is going to be the correct answer, and Torchic is going to be answer number 2, which will be the incorrect answer. Feel free to swap these as needed so that you can actually keep your community on their toes. Then create a streaming software action. Make sure it's attaching to OBS Studio and have the action be Source Visibility. Under Scene Name, make it the actual name of the scene with your image groups. Then under Source Name, you want it to be the image source that is the silhouette of your picture. So in my case, it's just silhouette. So go on ahead and choose the silhouetted title, and then select Visible. Make sure that this visibility is on. Then you're going to create a new action and make it a wait action. Set the duration to 180 seconds. This is going to allow, once the prediction is over, for the next sequence of actions to take place. Then, go on ahead and duplicate the previous streaming software action. You're just going to click the two little boxes on the right. The only thing you're going to change is the source name. It's going to be the same name as the unsilhouetted image in your sources dropdown. So in my case, it's just image. Create a new duplicate of the same thing of your previous silhouetted source, and then turn the visibility to off. This is going to hide the silhouette source as soon as the other source is turned on. That way now people can actually see what the object is. Then duplicate your wait command. Set this new wait command to 30 seconds. Then, under streaming software, make another duplication of your non-silhouetted image and set the visibility to off. In sequence, this will create a prediction for 180 seconds so that your people can choose which one they think it is, and it will show the silhouette source. With the silhouette on screen for a full 180 seconds, your community has plenty of time to decide which one they think is real. Then, the regular image will become unhidden, showing your community which one the answer was, and the silhouette will become hidden. Then, it will wait 30 seconds while that new image is shown, and then it will hide that new image. This is so that it can be as automated and as clean as possible. Then, click the little floppy disk to save this action group. Now that that is done, we need to make a command list. This one's kind of easy. So all that this new command list does is have a compilation of all of the different commands you're wanting your bot to be able to run. You're going to make a new action group. In this new action group, you're going to name it Who's That Pokemon, or Who's Whatever it is you're deciding to make this for, command list. And then, under action, you're going to add a command action. The command is going to be a run command. Command type is going to be action group, and the command is going to be whatever your object is. So in my case, it's going to be Who's That Pokemon, Blaziken. And then you're going to unlock the command at the top of the screen, and you're going to run one randomly. The reason why we have it set up this way is so that whenever you add more items to this list, it will choose one of them at random whenever you decide to have the action go off. That way, if you said add Blaziken, Squirtle, Pikachu, Raichu, and a whole bunch of different Pokemon all under this, it will choose one of the Pokemon as random so that you don't have to do anything on your end. Once you've done that, click Save. And this is everything that you need for the redeem so far. Awesome. Now with those done, all we have to do is make the new Twitch command. In order to do that, we're going to click the three dots in the top left and go down to Twitch channel points. As you can see, I've already made the channel point redeem, so you're just going to create new channel point reward. It's going to say that the reward is successfully created after you name it. That means that you can go to the actual Twitch website and change the values and everything like that. Under Actions, edit the command. Now, we are going to add a command action. Then we are going to, under Command Type, select Action Group, and then it's going to be the Name That Pokemon Show Scene or Hide Scene. We do not want it to wait until completed. Then, once you're done with that, create another action command. Make this command type Action Group, and make it the command list. Once again, we do not want it to wait until completed. After doing that, you could just save the action and be done. After that, once somebody redeems it from your chat, it will do exactly what we need it to do. However, another thing that you can do is create a sound action. If you did this and added, say, the Who's That Pokemon soundbite, and then set a wait command to be for the duration that would be for the command, which would be 180 seconds, and then added another sound afterwards, you could have the Who's That Pokemon sound play. Once the command ends and then the regular image is revealed, another sound will play, and you can make it be a little bit more fluid that way. But it's not 100% necessary. It's just some extra flavor you can add in order to make your scene a bit more engaging. After that's done, go on ahead and save. This is just some tips on how to streamline your process and adding new things to the command. whenever you are in OBS Studio, under your sources for your Pokemon Redeem, you're just going to add 2 more images, one more of another Pokemon or another part of your thing that you want that is silhouetted, and then another that is not, and then put those in their own group. Whenever that is done, you're going to go into Mixitup, go to Action Groups, select the first one that you made. So in our case, it's going to be Who's That Pokemon Blaziken. Go to Edit Command. We are going to then export actions to file. Whenever we do so, and then choose some place on our desktop, you will then get a file like this. This is all of the commands that we need in order to make a new version of the same action group. Then we click New Action Group, import actions from file, and then choose that other Who's That Pokemon, and then it brings everything back into this list. So if I had a silhouette and an unsilhouetted image of, say, Squirtle, I'd be able to add Squirtle to the name, choose the silhouette and unsilhouetted images, and replace the source names with those sources. And then in the Twitch Redeem, I would change one of the outcomes to Squirtle and the other ones to something else, like War Turtle. And then I'm completely done adding this new one as an action group. And then whenever I finish that, you would go into the command list, edit the command list, duplicate this command, and then add the new one under the command. It will show up an ungrouped. So in this case, it would be Who's That Pokemon Squirtle, and it would show up here. And then you would have this completely added, and then your Twitch Redeem, when redeemed, will be able to access that new one randomly, thanks to the fact that this runs one randomly. Another thing to keep in mind is that once the prediction is over, you will have to go into your Twitch chat, go down to the chat, and type /prediction, or do it from your OBS Studio's chat dock, and then choose the prediction, and once it's selected, it will then have the prediction that you have already done here. And once this is done, and you've selected your winner, the command will be able to make a new redeem. If you don't do this before the timer on your Twitch channel points has come up, somebody else will be able to redeem it. But if somebody else redeems it without this prediction already being tallied out, then it will say that your prediction is not completed, and the redeem will simply go through without the prediction, and in doing so will completely tarnish your entire redeem. So you want to make sure that you turn and do your prediction managing in a timely fashion after the entire prediction and the entire command has gone through. If you don't, you can end up breaking your redeem. And now the last thing we're going to want to do is actually change the channel point redeem on Twitch. So go to your twitch.com, log in, and go to your channel dashboard. Under Viewer Rewards, click Channel Points. Under Manage Rewards and Challenges, click the drop-down. Then you'll see your Who's That Pokemon redeem that you made on your Mixitup bot. Click Edit. Set the cost value to whatever you think is fair for your stream. If you have a smaller audience, or if you have less consistent viewership, a lower value might be better. Then scroll down to cooldown and limits. Check the box and either set the stream cooldown, or rather redemption cooldown, to 10 or 20 minutes. I personally recommend anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes because that gives the bot time to breathe before each redemption. It's a lot of work. The reason why you don't want it to be able to be redeemed on top of itself is because the bot doesn't know how to actually fluctuate your different redemptions. So if you have too many redeems like this one going off at any given time, redemption of one will trigger the same events and cause other events to be turned off. so overlapping your commands will break your bot. Once you've done that, hit save, and you're done. Thank you, staff, for attending this tutorial. If you'd like more tutorials, game reviews, and anomaly studies, feel free to subscribe to this channel. Remember, research responsibly and stay safe.